Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dean Rogers. Welcome back to the Dean Rogers Show. Today, I've got a special guest, Brittany Thompson. Brittany, welcome to the show.
What's popping? What's going on? What's happening?
Yes. All right. I love being around people like you that just have energy, and man, that goes a long way to just be connected with other people who want to win and be around good people. So I'm already getting that vibe and energy from you. So Brittany, let's talk about you. Let's talk about what's awesome and going on in your life. The first question I usually like to ask is how you got started in investing.
Oh boy, that's the $1,000,000 question, right?
Everyone's got a different story, and usually it's like it's not the same cookie cutter. It's usually something really different for each person.
No, I can stand in agreement with that. It is absolutely something different. Long story short, famous last words. I woke up Monday morning, just started a job that was going to pay me a salary plus commission selling digital B2B marketing sales, whatever. I still don't know what that means. I politely got my kids up. I threw them in the car, took them to daycare, fought traffic, got to work, parked in the church parking lot, got shuttled to my job, my 9 to 5, because I wasn't important enough to park at the actual building.
Mm.
Get in the building, got the rah-rah session, all the things, massively long coffee line, all of the things, sit down to make my first sales call, and I get struck with the most severe case of anxiety and dizziness and just confusion, profuse sweating, like heart palpitations. And I think I blank out, and then I wake up and I remember that I'm in the back of an ambulance at a hospital.
Whoa.
Yes, that's how this thing started.
Whoa. Wow. That's crazy. So you found out pretty
Yes,
quick, like this wasn't for me.
really, really quick. Like the running joke was, how many I-9s do you have this year? Because I would just go from job to job to thing. And I want to say that my last W-2 was really the beginning of my investing career. My investing career didn't start with real estate. It actually started with investing in myself, which is super important. And I don't know that it's really spoken of to a degree. But basically, I told me and the Lord had a conversation, and I was like, surely you didn't bring me this far to only bring me this far. I don't have to do this job. You opened the door, so I walked in it. Give me something else to do that I'm actually going to love doing, and I will wait on you. And I remember being up at 2 o'clock in the morning on YouTube University, and I came across this video after searching how to make a lot of money really quick, which I do not recommend people do, of course, not these days anyway. And I came across a video, how to make 12K in 37 days. And that started my journey of how to wholesale in real estate, like what real estate investing looked like. So that's where it started.
So whose coaching program was it?
You know what? I feel like it was, no, we had this conversation. It was Sean Terry.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I
Yeah,
want to make
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
The OG, Sean Terry. I owe all of my beginnings and inspiration and motivation from Sean Terry. So that's awesome that you had a similar beginning story with finding real estate as this new vehicle for you that was going to help you find your way in life.
Yes, yes. There was a lot of free coaching there. And I did the natural thing. Once I found out about it, I Googled it, who else does this? And then
Yep.
there was the long stream of strategies and coaches. And it was just like 6 months of analysis paralysis, soaking in everybody's everything, trying to go to everybody's everything. And then I just decided January of 2016, I'm just going to do one strategy and I'm just going to do it until I have success.
Yes.
And it happened.
I am so glad you said that, because a lot of people need to hear that. You experienced it. I'd say my divergence from my beginning, I spent 6 months, like you spent 6 months, analysis paralysis, looking at stuff. I did not experience that. I took insane, massive action in one area. I got results and was getting results, but I took a pause. Probably, maybe let's just call it 6 to 9 months in. I took a 6 month divergence to, you know what? I got these other deals that are in LA that other people are sending me. Now I'm going to go start chasing deals around. And I was chasing shiny objects. And so I fell, kind of victim to that and wasting 6 months. So I'm glad you said that, because that's important to understand, is if you don't get focused, you can get overwhelmed with information to where there's almost too much good information. You don't know what to do. And getting focused, like you said you did. Now, what was that one thing that you got focused on?
Oh gosh, it was bandit signs. It was brutal. Me and my 10 signs, bro.
Yes, bandit signs.
Yeah, I remember living in, well, it was Pelham, Alabama, and I would drive to Center Point, which I so lovingly call East Egypt, because that's what the old folks say when you're going from town to town. She's going to East Egypt. She's going super far away. And I would just, for some reason, I saw that the city, municipalities, or whatever, the people that work for the city did not take down signs after 5 on Friday and before 8 a.m. on Monday. So my happy tail would go for like 6 weeks and put out bandit signs. And when I say 10, I mean a good 10. Like that. That was my math. It was brutal. Freaking out. My husband would be freaking out. And they were like, girl, you are like a woman in the middle of the night on the other side of town hanging out signs. Like, please stop the madness. But I was determined. Like, it had gotten to a point where I was just like, I don't know what else to do. I'm done. Like, it's like what 50 Cent say, get rich or die trying. It's like, get this deal or die trying. I'm through. And it panned out. I remember getting a call from the homeowner, and I actually happened to be less than a quarter mile from his house. And I guess the rapport I established, all the free stuff I took in, questions I asked, he felt comfortable enough for me to go. He had a tenant in the property. And really, over the course of that next couple of months, I just learned a lot fast. I learned about liens. I learned about how to ask for a social security number. I learned about closing, how to partner correctly in JV, how to communicate with the buyer, what to have in your contract, what not to have in. I just learned so much. And that's the thing. We learn by doing.
Yes.
Information. So
yes, you can spend a lot of time learning, which it's good to learn. You need to be learning. You always need to be learning. But as soon as you learn something, you need to take action on that and put it to practice, because then you're going to see what it's really like when the rubber meets the road. Like, what's it like? How do they respond when I actually ask this question? And it's not going to be the same response either every time. So how do I adjust and adapt to these different scenarios? And that's what experience brings. The experienced investor isn't that they're, now this is something, just to throw this in the mix, that I heard the other day that I just love, is the person who's experienced is where you want to be. It's not that they're less fearful, right? Because I still wake up, I'm still nervous about things. I'm still, anxious about things. I'm still pushing myself and driving and, taking on risk in the business. And, there's a lot going on, but it's not that I'm less fearful. It's that I have more courage. So I think some of that courage comes through confidence, and some of that confidence comes through experience and putting the action into place. And then you start to build that confidence and I can do this. And then you've established more courage to overcome that fear. So man, I love that. So the breakthrough, you got a breakthrough through bandit signs?
Massive breakthrough. And then much kind of like what you were describing, I took a year hiatus because I was rich on my $3 grand.
You were chilling, like you were on a high. Like I did this, I'm chilling.
It was so good until it wasn't. And I was like, oh God, it ran out. What do I do next?
That's freaking hilarious. Oh my God. Oh,
That's what
okay.
it is.
So you took a break and then you revved up the engines. You got things going back again. So I think I'm so glad you said that because like you said, or like we've talked about, everyone has a different story and a different path to get there. And everyone's got a different definition of success and to get to that success is different. So, okay, so you took a year off, you were feeling high on life, you just closed that deal. So how did you get back on board and push things forward?
Oh my goodness. So what's interesting is, okay, so in real life, I got my first closing May of 2016, and then I was coasting for like the summer because, why not? And then I realized the power of momentum, like not only when momentum works for you,
Yeah.
but when you have to build it back up. And then I
Yeah.
realized all of that time and energy and the calls and the habits I developed, I stopped like cold turkey. And so now I'm having to revamp. And I'm like, oh crap. Well, I don't want to do bandit signs again because that was hard. And so I adopted to doing like the free gosh, this is like a gem for people who want to try it out. But I would go to the dollar store and I would get blank thank you cards. Not the ones that said thank you, but the ones with like flowers on it or like stars or streams. And I would actually handwrite letters to homeowners like, hey, I'm interested in buying your house. And what was good was I had a high open rate. What was bad was I wasn't consistent enough with doing it because it was work and I hated working. And I was just kind of, licking my wounds. Like, I know this works because I've done it, but I just kind of slowed down because I felt really defeated because it wasn't really, for me, that wasn't scalable. And I remember just like laying down at home and I was like, well, I know this works, so it must be me. And I was praying, I was like, God, why would you introduce this to me and not like empower me or equip me to continue? Like, I feel lonely because I didn't have any money and I didn't have credit to invest in coaching and mentoring. And I would go to these RIA events and I feel like they were pitch fest all the time. They were like selling you their latest and greatest. And I didn't have it. And I feel like God told me, start what you need. And I created something called the Wholesalers Roundtable, which is a community for people to come together, network, ask questions, and all of those things. And without the fear of looking or sounding silly, and without having to worry about being sold every 5 minutes. And it went from 7 people to over 100 people. Like in a year, I was like, what is this? This is crazy. What is happening?
That's awesome.
And through that, a young lady from El Paso reached out to me. She's like, hey, I'm investing in Birmingham, but I don't know, like I need some help evaluating deals, meeting with sellers, writing up contracts. And at that time, I had not had any traction. And I was like, well, sure. She figured I had instant credibility because I had a meetup group, a community, which I didn't even realize that, but that was the case. And so we came to terms. She's like, yeah, I'll give you a fee per deal. And for me, that was great because that means I didn't have to put out bandit signs. I didn't have to handwrite letters, all of those things. And so we did a couple of deals together. I made some money. And the conversation matriculated. I was like, well, look, if I can do this, now I'm looking to get a percentage of the deal because I'm doing the work. And ultimately that turned into, well, you know what? I don't want 2,000. I want 20,000. Like, I want all my money, honey. And I love her because if it wasn't for her, I would not be in real estate. I would have quit. And I always honor her in that. And I just kind of turned it back on. Like, I can do this. I don't need anybody to help me with this. Like, I got this. And, that was the power of JVing for me. started building up the momentum. I started doing a couple deals, $500,000, $3,000. June 2018, hired my first coach. And before then, again, I was anti-coach. I was anti all of that. Matter of fact, I was like, well, if they got the information, they should just give it away to us because we don't know. Like, people should just help me answer my question. Like, it's like
Yeah.
Kevin Hart joke, help me, please, like that. And in making that investment, it was a two-pay because I couldn't afford the whole thing, and they were really nice about it. And I saw myself go from $1,000 to $10,000 just by being more specific on my deal search, my negotiation power, like all of those things. And I was like, wow, this course just paid for itself like twice, like within 60 days.
Wow.
Coaching works.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what's interesting about that is coaching doesn't fix everything. So in other words, I hired a coach for real estate investing, but I needed to hire a financial coach because when I would get this money I'm not used to getting, I would blow it. And I'm just keeping it 100 because I don't know what else to do,
Yeah.
And I remember January, the following year, January 2019, I'm looking at my husband, he looking at me, we looking at each other, and I'm like, babe, I'm broke. Like, yes, we had success. I think we made $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 the prior year, but I don't have anything to show for it. Like, I was reinvesting, then I would go spend half of it. Like, there was, it was just horrible financial decisions, just bad, BAD bad. And we ended up having to ask his parents to loan us some money for marketing.
Mm.
And they believe in us. I don't know that they knew it was quite that bad. So newsflash there. But if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have been able to continue. They invested in us. I found a free challenge, and I participated and won it to a conference where I found myself profusely crying and talking to Gary Vee. As a matter of fact, there's actually a recording on YouTube of it. I think it's what if I lose or something like that. Like, what will people think if I lose or something? And I'm just like, I don't want to lose no more. I'm tired. We didn't fail. We didn't went broke. How do we know this is what we're supposed to do? Just like the classic, oh my God, this is so bad.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, so what if you lose? Your kids are going to be, you love each other? Like, what? Like, no Netflix? Like, what? Like, and I remember, and I was like, yeah. And we went on to do more deals. We sat down later that year, wrote a vision for our life because we got tired of living life based on what we thought we needed to for other people to think we're great. And we said, what makes us great? And my husband ended up walking away from his W-2
Wow.
IT career. Yeah, in October that year. That was our version of going all in. First year making over 6 figures. And just everything just compounded. Like, every time we took a leap of faith, it's like we were blessed. It was like we were just connected to people, and it really, yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. So you have some awesome, just real life experiences going on this entrepreneur route. You went
Yes.
9 to 5, you wound up at the hospital, and that didn't work out. Like, this wasn't going to be for you.
Right.
Because I can tell right away, like, you're someone who wants to live life on your terms. Like, you're not going to be clocking in, clocking out. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Like, please tell me what to do next. Like, that's not you, And so
Nope.
you had to get in there and figure it out yourself. And you were doing that, but you were living the reality of, like, what's this whole new world like? Like, I got to figure out how to manage things. I got to figure out how to be a boss. Like, all these different new skills you were having to develop, and taking some kind of twists and turns throughout there. But I think you had a really awesome experience by starting that network that you did.
Yes.
Because, man, if you're new, one of the best things that you can do, I'd say 2 things, is actually really get involved in your local network. Because you've heard it, right? Your network is your net worth and all that kind of fun stuff. But, like, the people that I've seen that are really new, like super green, they don't have the experience, they don't have the resources, like, they're just scraping by, they're barely making it to the meeting. the ones who like are hungry and then actually are there, like trying to get stuff done, almost every time I end up seeing those people finally getting a deal. Then they finally get a couple more deals, and now they're doing a
Yep.
flip, and they're buying a rental property. It's like everyone is similar when they start with next to nothing. Like you got to fight your way through there. And so by being a part of a network like that, you were the face of it. It sounds like, so you even had
Yes.
more influence, and
Yes.
that attracted others to you, bringing deals. And that's one thing that I think was really um, really courageous of you to do, because you didn't necessarily have all the experience. You had done,
Right.
some deals, but you didn't necessarily have like, oh, look at me, I got all this experience, let me show you how to do everything. It's like, let's just get together, let's be a network to each other and
Yes.
help each other. So I think that is beautiful, because the whole abundance mindset of helping people, let's work together, no matter how silly the question is, let's
Yes.
figure it out together.
Go.
Man, that's one of the best things you can do. And then okay, awesome. Yeah. So I think just you going through all that was awesome. And then you guys took some leaps of faith there. You guys took some leaps of faith, and it paid off, and you made it through the other side. So man, that's pretty awesome. That's cool. That's a real life story.
Yeah.
That's that's for most people. Like you kind of, hey, this isn't for me, let me go for this. And maybe I got distracted, and now I'm chasing this thing over here, and I need this now new other free challenge. Let me borrow some money, like I love that. That's awesome. That's gritty though, because you didn't give
Yes.
up.
Yes. Well, my main brain's no quitter.
Yeah.
So
Man.
yeah, it's been pretty remarkable journey. More important though than the real estate and the money, that same year that my husband left, that actually started a different kind of journey for me. We realized success from doing deals and all that, and I noticed that I was putting so much time and energy and effort into, going to conferences, doing deals, meeting with homeowners, that I actually started neglecting myself, right? Like my health, like my mental health, my physical health, all of those things. And we somehow ended up invited to a Taco Tuesday birthday party. And it was all the nachos and margaritas, so you already know it went down. And yeah, I came home and I crashed, and it was a real bad crash. It was like abnormal, not like drunk too much crash, but like fatigue. And I woke up, my husband said, well, what's wrong, are you okay? And I was still tired. And with my kids, I'd been a gestational diabetic, so I happen to have a blood glucose meter or whatever, and something said, take it, use it, like let's rule this out. And do you know, I tested my blood sugar and it was 500.
I don't know what the scale is, but it sounds high.
The scale is 90 fasting, meaning without food, and after eating, the scale is like 120 to 130. Long story short, it's really bad. I was about 85 to 100 pounds overweight, and my A1C was 14. A normal A1C is 14 to 15. Anyway, through finding out financial success, realizing I neglected myself, I found out I was an uncontrolled type 2 diabetic. And that actually would have taken me out quicker than my prior hospital visit. So yeah, I've learned the importance of taking care of myself. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, and you understand as an athlete, we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves,
Yeah.
our relationships, like make sure our faith is in order, because having more money makes you more of what you already are. And that could go either way.
I love that. That's true. I love that. I heard that a long time ago, and I'm a firm believer in it too. Like it starts to show your true colors,
Yes. Yes.
And so, yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they push it to the limits, and that's what it takes most of the time, is to push it to the limits. And so it's kind of hard. It's a hard balance. Like you might be on the top ramen diet for a while and not be able to work out because you got to put in the work. But at a certain point, like you got to balance, because otherwise you're going to just run yourself into the ground. and hurt yourself, right?
Yep. So
So
true. So
yeah.
true. So that was a journey. Of course, I reversed it. I dropped 100 pounds. My A1C dropped. I didn't have to use insulin. What I realized is the deals, like, they're relevant, but not really. Because I'm a believer. I'm a daughter of a king. You know, I'm a believer in God. Then I'm a wife. Then I've got multiple children. And I know I feel like I'm on this journey to, like, hey, wake up. There's more to life than making a dollar. Like, if you're sick or on your deathbed, you can't spend it anyway. And for us, that made us really put some parameters around our business. The next year, we ended up doing, I think, 13 deals, making multiple six figures. The next year, 2021, we cut back half the deals, made more money, and we just changed our focus.
Wow.
Don't do that. And that brings us to this year in the RV. It's been pretty nuts, man.
Yeah. So let's unpack that. Let's talk about, you've gone through all this, you've been doing deals, you're making this now your new lifestyle, providing for, like, taking care of you, your family, all that stuff. And now you're living kind of like on your own terms, but you know, you're living in an RV now. Like, you got a whole different experience going on, which in an RV, you can't run and hide away from the kids. For me,
No.
I'm barely keeping them in the other room. Like, I don't know if you've heard them at all yet, if the microphone's canceling out, but they're screaming, they're chasing each other around, they're crying, it's just, they're kids.
That is 100%. Matter of fact, I got my 5-year-old laying here. She's like climbing 1 liter gallon water jugs, trying to make herself a quesadilla in the microwave. And I'm like, will you just not? Can you just not do that right now?
Can you just stop?
You
just got to do it right now while I'm doing this. Can you just stop?
Gotta. And the kids are playing, watching TV and tablets, like they have no concept of what's going on. I'm like, you know what? This is my life.
This is my life. Just got to embrace it.
Just got to embrace it. It's been pretty wild. Yeah, the RV thing, it's funny. January of this year, with our other church in Alabama, we went through 21 days of prayer and fasting. Get down. And I just asked, I said, God, you blessed us. Like, 1 minute I go from, will you please just give me a break? Let me get a deal, to all of a sudden, you bless me with deals and I'm winning and life is great and my credit's better and my marriage is better and my kids are better. But this isn't it. Like, doing a deal, coaching a student, this is great, but this isn't it. I need a change. I need something different. And he said, hey, if you want me to move, I need you to move. And the craziest thing, like, February of this year, we started homeschooling our 3 kids. We bought an RV, a motor home. Stop, Grace. A motor home. We sold our house a month later, and we drove from Birmingham, Alabama to Orange County, California.
Wow. So what made you choose there? What made you say, you know what? We're just going to go darn near halfway across the entire country?
Yeah, we're still unpacking that. I know we were scheduled to go to a conference here, which we did. I remember us next stop having to go to Las Vegas. And I remember telling my husband, we have to come back here. Like, we're not supposed to leave here. I don't know where else we got to go. We've been through 15 states and 2 countries since March of this year. I don't know why, but I feel like we're supposed to be here. And that's as far as I've gotten. We're here. We're meeting people. Come here. One of the things God told us at the start of our journey was, I'm going to provide for you, and everywhere you go, there will be people waiting for you. And so to come over here with no family, no existing business, no house, no church home, like nothing. And all of a sudden, a few months later, we've got a place to be, to connect. We've got a church home. We were invited to hang out with some family yesterday that we just met. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's just like something about faith.
Yeah.
So man, it's been pretty wild.
I love that. That's cool. Some people, you just got to do that. Like, you got to switch up life and, shake things up a little bit and see what it does for you. And sounds like that's kind of the experience you're getting. So that's pretty cool.
Yes. Yes.
Getting a lot of family time.
Yes.
which is good and probably can drive each other crazy sometimes too.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but it's good because you can get lost and like miss out on some of that, right? If you're not kind of forced
Yeah.
into it.
And I think that was the biggest thing though, too, the hustle and bustle of getting the deal, answering a seller phone call, meeting with the buyer right now, because this is the time they have. There was so many times where I missed, like, the reason that I signed up to be an entrepreneur or to start building my own businesses was so that I could have the freedom and flexibility to be a mom and a wife. But it felt like the more involved I got in business, the less time I had for the very thing that was the reason why I went into business in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's like a slippery slope. You don't realize it till it's too far. And
Yeah.
I've seen so many people sick, divorced, infidelity, kids can't stand them, but their business is banging. They 7-figure earners. They good. But like, what does that really mean? Why, what are we doing this for?
Yeah.
So
100%. So that's a perfect segue into sheskillingit.com. So let's talk about that. I mean, you told me about it. I checked it out. It's pretty dang cool. Like it gets me excited just looking at it and reading all about it. So what is sheskillingit.com? What can people find there?
Oh man. Well, first of all, it's like a warm introduction to me. Hold on, make sure the girls aren't fussing. Warm introduction to me, who I am. I'm just a wife, I'm just a mom, I'm just a believer. And I talk about my real estate journey just so that people can see, my entrepreneurial capabilities. I'm an author. Now, I mean, it's a speaker. There's so many doors open, and it's just a way to find out more about me, what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to being able to speak on more platforms and share my message. One of health, whether that's spiritual health, relational health, physical health, financial health, all those things. How to be an entrepreneur, how to believe in yourself, like that. This is actually leading to some of the notes. I had a call with one of my coaches today, and it was one of the things I walked away with is the importance of staying true to yourself. Like, my journey's not going to look like somebody else's, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be a 7, 8, 9-figure earner to share my message. There are some, like this means, like this podcast, right? You welcome me here to share, and I'm doing that. I'm being obedient in that, and it's just doing more of those things.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit, like the importance of masterminds and coaches and what they can do for you. I mean, you started kind of from the grassroots of starting a network of people and getting to meet people that were experienced, and now you're doing deals together. So, we've both joined into a mastermind together. That's how we got connected, right? And now just new doors are opening, new relationships are forming. So tell me about like what it's been like for you through going and masterminding and having coaches, and now doing coaching yourself as well.
Well, it's interesting, a coach or mentor is gonna, it can only lead you to where you want to go. So if you want to be an incredibly successful, real estate investor, you hire a coach, hopefully they can do that for you. But if you want to be a speaker or writer, that's where they're gonna encourage you in the direction that you want to go. And what I learned is over time, I went from not being able to afford masterminding and coaching and all of that to now being in multiple. And if I'm being honest, I would be directed in different spaces. It began to conflict. And I said, well, I thought it would be good to have all these. No, I just really need one core group of people. I just need one coach, one mentor that's really gonna see me at my best, know what I desire, like know what I'm. Okay, so here's the thing. We can do everything, but there's only one thing that you're called to do. And it's having that realization that yes, I can be an insane investor. Yes, I can go flip a house. I can acquire a rental off market. I can go teach somebody. But am I called to do that? No, I'm called to use my voice to wake people up. That's really the calling on my life. And I want to fully embrace that. And I only want to be mentored by those who will help me to be that much closer to what I want to be known for: my voice, my message, and my presence. And so one of the things that came out of that was getmyfirstdeal.com, helping people just get their first real estate deal done. And I love it because I'm not asking people to pay me 15, 20, 30,000. I don't want all of that. It's great money. And yes, once they get their first deal, I'll connect them with someone who's really going to take them to the moon. But Get My First Deal is really about identifying, one, do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to be a businesswoman, businessman? Do you even like real estate? Is this realistic for you to actually go and hustle to get the deal? Because, you know, why would I ask you to invest your life savings and you find out you hate it? Like, that's just
right.
horrible, right? I mean, and it happened. I cannot tell you how many horror stories I've heard. People come into the radio station ad, they come into the hotel, then they run to the back of the room, max out the cards, second HELOC, third HELOC, all these things. And then 6 months later, they're broke, busted, and disgusted, and I don't even like it anyway. So I don't want to be associated with that either.
Yep.
And you know it's true. It's like, yeah, she's telling the truth.
There's a lot of people, they're just looking for that next fix to get them there, but they like don't even know if it's for them, like you said. But just because someone said it could be the problem, you know, the solution to their problem, which in most cases a financial upgrade, people are just rushing to try it, and they don't really know if they would actually like it. So you offer a challenge on your website, Get My First Deal, so people can get into it, they can understand the business and start putting stuff, taking action, putting it to work, and seeing if they like it, and working to get results naturally, and helping them just get out, you know, get off and launch into the business.
Yes, that's the thing, is just teaching them, look, no matter what economy, no matter what the market, no matter where you're located, this is how, over our 5-day challenge, free challenge, this is how you find, get, and close your deal. This is the process that everybody goes. So I don't care what the strategy is. I don't care the private lender, the hard money, the bank. I don't care about all that. You have to find the deal, whether you farm it or whether you go get it yourself, or whether you JV. You got to connect, come to terms, contract it, and you got to close it, whether that's to another end buyer, to yourself, to Egypt, to a hedge fund, to whomever. that is the blueprint. Nobody can tell me, well, that's not part of it. Yes, it is. So it's that.
I love that. And that's what so many people need. Like, so many people are just right there on the edge of their seat, and they're needing some like structure, because you could get lost on YouTube just taking in all this information, looking at all this different stuff. And at the end of the day, you're still as confused, even though you received all this information, you're still confused and not sure where to start and take action. So I think that's so valuable to help people just get focused, get the right information, take the challenge, and get after it, right? The whole goal is to have that breakthrough, get that first deal. And once you do that, you prove it to yourself. I can do this. This is real. And that's the biggest milestone in the entire business, is closing that first deal and believing and understanding, like, this is something I can do. I've seen other people do it, but I can't believe it and know it's real until I've done it myself.
That's it. That's the key. So that's my heart passion, and I'll keep doing it until I stop. I mean, I don't know. That encouragement, that just showing, hey, you know, if this is what you really want to do. Like I tell my ladies out there, I'm like, look, girls, you know, maybe you're married, maybe you're not, maybe you got kids, maybe you don't, maybe you have a 9-to-5, maybe you don't. If you're interested in real estate, if you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul, tired of not really living life, having what you want to have, dressing, getting those red Christian Louboutins or buying that Louis Vuitton purse, like whatever it is, if you want that, there are means, and real estate is a great way to acquire it if you're willing to do what it takes.
Yeah. Well, Brittany, it's been so great to have you on. You guys can go check out Brittany at sheskillingit.com and see everything that she's up to, because she's killing it. And then Get My First Deal, getmyfirstdeal.com. If you want to do your first deal, there's a free challenge in there. So you guys got to get in there, go through the challenge, and man, what a great resource there. So how can people get a hold of you and stay in touch with you?
Absolutely. So I'm on all forms of social media at The Real BJT. Definitely follow me. Definitely send me a DM. Want to know more about me? Like you mentioned, go to sheskillingit.com, learn about me. And if you're ready to dip your toe in the water of real estate, you know, and you're really unsure and don't want to really invest a whole bunch of money, come join our free challenge. How to find, get, and close your first deal in 5 days or less.
I love that. Well, thanks again, Brittany. It's been a pleasure to have you on. You're living mom life with kids around you. I'm living dad life with kids around me all the time too, screaming around. So, but that's kind of what we're looking for, is that freedom, right? Instead of being away from them all day. So love that you own it like I have to as well. And been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. You're awesome.
Thanks. All right. See you guys.